Hi there. Um, for many years, I've been looking at YouTube to see how people present their forces for different war games, but in particular, bolt action. So I wanted to try and do the same thing. This is a force that I have recently bought and painted up during the last 2 to 3 weeks. Japanese force, as the flag might indicate. But not your usual Japanese force. These are Japanese paratroopers. All minis are from a company called Company B. I'd not purchased minis from them before. Some of their vehicles, which were very nice. These figures are they are okay. They are not as detailed as some of the other figures that you might get from Warlord or from Great Escape games. But they are okay, and I quite like the look of them. When I choose a force for bolt action, I don't look at rules. I look at the minis. What what catches my eye. This also results in me painting up an army, trying them for 2, 3 games, and then coming to the conclusion that maybe they weren't that fun to play. The only army that I've kept for more than a year is my Italians. Might do a presentation of them at some later point. This force, I'm hoping to have the same experience as I have with my Italians. Not winning a lot. I hope I would be able to win a few games with these, but having a good feeling about playing them. But let's see what I have bought and chosen for this force. Again, miniatures from Company B, purchased through Great Escape Games. Wonderful company, excellent service, um, and let's get to it. First of all, these figures are. I have a lot of them. There's a lot more than 1,000 points here, but this is what I have, so I'll be presenting them. 4 infantry groups, each consisting of 11 men, and NCO with SMG, 2 to 3 SMGs as well. Rules wise, you can only have 2 more SMGs, but I've put some in here. An LMG and 4 riflemen. So each squad has 11 people, or 10. It must be 10. To try and distinguish them from each other, I've chosen to put red flowers, as you can see here, on the NCOs. That should make them stand out a bit more. And of course, I've put a red flower on my officer here and a second officer. The groups are, as far as I can see, the only ones who can take multiple SMGs. They can't really take that much else. An LMG, and of course they can be tank hunters, like a lot of other infantry groups can. But I quite like the look of them. I like them to be these elite special forces that the Japanese put in. Not only in regular paratrooper missions, but also later on in the war as light infantry. So hopefully these groups will represent that. Moving on, and these are not really miniatures, but again, you can buy 3 of the containers canisters that were thrown out of the plane along with the paratroopers, and I want to use these as my objective markers in the game. I think they're very nice and very much fit the theme of the paratroopers. The guy just in or behind these is carrying a katana, a samurai sword, and a pistol. I put a flag in on him as well because I really think that the flag is really cool and makes the force stand out. Behind them there's an MMG, and behind them again a mountain gun. The mountain gun functions as a light howitzer. I quite like the mountain gun because both rules-wise it's good to have HE, but also they came in different pieces so that the paratroopers, when they landed, could assemble it, which again fits the theme. Then there are two tank hunters. I'm not quite sure whether that is a Japanese hand grenade or whether it's some kind of other demolition device. These will probably be used as the kamikaze suicide anti-tank bombers. Otherwise, they will be put in smaller units to represent improvised anti-tank teams. But I'm not quite sure yet. They can fill multiple roles. Then we have a sniper. Again, can be a lone sniper, or you can put an extra man in and have a normal sniper team. Flamethrower team. Light mortar, which is in by the Americans dubbed the knee mortar. There's a knee mortar here as well, but I've also got a medium mortar so that I can put in a medium mortar team if I wanted to. Last unit is an anti-tank team. The original miniature is actually from Warlord and not from Company B, the guy with the gun. But I've sculpted the jumpsuit that all the miniatures have on him, and since he's lying down I didn't have to sculpt any pouches or anything. So looking at him from this distance, he's quite okay. I am not a great sculptor, but he looks like the others, and that's okay with me. For vehicle support, I just couldn't resist the small Kurogane scout car. I think it is so cool looking, possibly the coolest looking model in the entire game. And the idea of this MMG just being placed out of the window, it's just crazy, but it looks very good. It's from Warlord Games. It was very easy to assemble, and despite it's not very easy to see, but I've painted the miniatures inside, even though they are not paratroopers. I've painted them so that from this distance they will look like paratroopers as well. Then there's a Hago light tank. It is not a very good tank, but it is cheap. It comes with a low velocity light anti-tank gun and 2 MMGs, but it's only 90 points. So it's very good for the 90 points if you're looking for infantry support, but it is not a tank killer. Most definitely not. This is a 3D printed version, which I think is quite nice. The camo scheme, especially the yellow line, is quite distinctive of the Japanese force, and I quite like the look of it. Then we have an anti-tank gun. This is a medium anti-tank gun, again 3D printed. And I think it's 47mm anti-tank gun. So it's either that or the mountain gun. And so far I'm leaning towards the mountain gun. It's cheaper and more efficient against infantry, but if going up against heavy tanks or a lot of armored vehicles, then the medium anti-tank gun will be the choice. Lastly, but certainly not least, I have 3 Kurugane pickups. Now, these were not produced until 1944, and most of the other stuff that I've put in this video is all from around 1942. These were produced in 1994, and it is basically a pickup version of the Kurugane Scout car, which means that rules-wise you can place 4 people in it. This will not allow you to put in the smallest infantry squad team, because I believe it's minimum 5 people in the squad. But they're cheap, and you can put a flamethrower in them, you can put anti-tank rifle, and even put the suicide anti-tank bombers in them. And I really like them. I think they look so cool. And a couple of these, I think they're 23 points, using them for outflanking, making them veteran, 28 points. Having 2 to 3 of these will really keep your opponent guessing where's the next attack and the next outflanking coming from. So I think they might be worth the points. Again, I have not played with the Japanese, but I'm looking forward to. Perhaps I will have a game tomorrow and see how efficient they are. But again, this is my force, the Teishin Shudan, I think. Hope I didn't butcher the Japanese words here. Which I'm very much looking forward to having a game with. Hope you find this an insightful video. That was the aim of it. So thanks for having a look.